says, oh, thank you, God, thank you, life, thank you, destiny. And, he's just full of gratitude. He's feeling a little better. He eats a second apple. He gets into the third apple. By the time he's on the fifth apple, he's really not all that grateful for this apple tree that he's discovered. He's just enjoying it, and as a matter of fact. And by the time he gets to the 10th apple, he actually takes a bite and throws it away, and he says, oh, it's not even that sweet. Now, if we really think about it, this is really the law of diminishing gratitude, that when we have something in abundance, we don't value it, but when we don't have it, we suddenly are, grateful for it. So in a way, we don't have enough gratitude in our life, and that's when we begin to feel stressed. If you evaluate the situation that was happening before the lockdown, we were taking everything for granted because we had everything in abundance, whether it was our freedom, whether it was, we were going to work or colleges every single day. But what were we doing? We were complaining about the traffic, the government, the pollution, every single thing that we could find. We were just complaining about it. But what this lockdown did was it reminded us somewhere that there was so much that we had to be grateful for. And when this reminder came, suddenly we realized that we still have so much to be thankful for, whether it's the safety of our home, we have fresh vegetables to cook. There is so much that our life gives us. Now, the thing is this, that either we can be grateful or we can be stressed out about things, because these are two opposite emotions. If we feel gratitude all the time, we will not be stressed out. And if we are stressed out, it means that we are not grateful for all the life gifts that life has given us. In a nutshell, this is, sorry, my slide is not moving. Yeah. So in a nutshell, this is what happens, that we are not grateful enough for all the things that our life gives us. If we think about it, how can we develop this gratitude or appreciation for everything that our life has given us? It's actually a healthy mind that can do that. And how do we develop this healthy mind? Do we have some sort of a secret recipe, or is there some formula? I'd say, yeah, there is a secret formula, and I'll reveal that formula across to you. So that formula is MITE, M-I-T-E, where the M stands for meditativeness. And let's understand how this does that. So what meditation does is that, everybody keeps telling us, whether we go to yoga gurus, we go to anybody, they just tell us, okay, meditate. But why should we really meditate? And I want to explain to you what happens when we meditate. Now, we all have certain gadgets, right? Whether we have an Apple Watch or a Samsung washing machine or some kind of phone, every time we buy these gadgets, they come with a user's manual. We know that, if we press this button, this will happen. That button we press, something will happen. We just get to know it. But when it comes to our brain, unfortunately, God did not send us a user's manual. So we don't know. When we're getting stressed out, how are we supposed to respond? When we get angry, what are we supposed to do? And we, end up doing strange things like, yelling at somebody, hoping that will resolve our anger or make things better in some way, but it really doesn't. So what meditation does is that, in a sense, I want to say that it helps us download like a soft copy of a user's manual of the brain into us. And we just intuitively begin to know what to do in these difficult situations. The other thing that you'd notice is that we have so many things that keep on going on in our brains, right? When we are doing our homework, we realize, oh, we have to go to tuition. We are at tuition, we think, oh, my parents, I did not call them. Let me go call them. So you're really not focusing very much. And all these things go on simultaneously in our brains. What meditation does is that it teaches us to do one thing at a time, because human mind is not capable of this level of multitasking and thinking about several things. And let me explain it to you with an example. Now, we've all done this. We've taken a bowl of ice cream and we've sat in front of the television. And how often have we said, oh, I don't even know when my ice cream got over. It's because we did not really enjoy it, because we were not focused on it. Now, imagine taking a chocolate bar in your hand. You take a lick, you realize what it tastes like. The chocolate cracks. You understand what, it feels like in your mouth. you know the sound it's making, and you're just using all your five senses to enjoy that ice cream. As a result, you're just enjoying that ice cream so much more. And if we extend the same thing to your homework, you'll notice that when you're doing it with a lot of focus, you'll just do a better job. Your quality of output will be a lot better when you do it uh, single-mindedly focused on that. So do one thing at a time, and that's what meditation helps us to achieve in the long run. The second thing that it does is that, you know, we all have a very strong memory and we all have a very strong imagination. What memory does is it just keeps on telling us what happened in the past, and we keep on delving on it. You know, I did not do that, I did not do this well, and we keep on getting depressed about things because it past, when we ruminate, it's full of regrets. On the other hand, you know, when we keep on thinking about our future, we keep on thinking, oh, what if I don't clear that exam? What if that doesn't happen? And we think of the negative outcomes. As a result, you know, we are either depressed or anxious. So what meditation helps us do is it helps us focus on the now, because if you have to do good in your exam, then what do you have to do? You have to figure out things now. You have to study now. So meditation helps us focus on now. It increases, and these are just other side benefits that meditation does. It brings us more happiness, it makes us more content, and it makes us less reactive. I mean, how many times in a day we feel so many emotions? Sometimes we feel fear, sometimes we feel anger, sometimes apprehension. We don't have to react to every single emotion that arises inside of us. So meditation makes us less reactive to these emotions so that we can think for a few minutes and then respond in an appropriate way. It helps bring more clarity of thought. So, I mean, I could really go on about the upsides of meditation. There are just too many. So what I'd like us to do right now is just sit down wherever you are, touch your feet firmly, and let's go through this little 5 minute or 4 minute meditation that, you know, we can experience, and we can see ourselves right here what happens when we do that. So please sit straight, sit still, and close your eyes and follow the instructions.
Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. Bring your awareness to the touch of your body on your seat. Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Begin by finding a comfortable posture. Lean slightly forward and back to one side and then the other. Find a comfortable balance as you come back to the center. Now, sitting up straight, feel your head on the top of your neck. How can you sit so that your head, neck, and back feel most comfortable? Take a few deep breaths. While you are breathing deeply, relax your shoulders, your stomach muscles, the muscles in your face and your hands and your legs. Let go of all the tension in your body. Now bring your attention back to your breath. Where do you feel it most? In your nose or your stomach? In the rise and fall of your chest? Just notice where you feel it most and allow your breathing to be natural and relaxed. Now, notice what the breath feels like as it enters through your nose, goes down your throat, filling your lungs, and back out through your nose. Notice your stomach and chest rise and fall with each inhale and exhale, and allow your breathing to be natural and relaxed. Now bring your awareness to the sensation of your breath in your nose. Feel your breath as it comes in and goes out. Just focus on this sensation, paying attention to each inhale and exhale. When your mind wanders or if you become distracted, just notice what's going on in your head and then gently bring your attention back to your breath, going in and out. Focus on the sensation of your breath in the foreground, allowing thoughts and feelings to come and go in the background. Now gently bring your attention back to the touch of your body on your seat and open your eyes.
Okay, let's come back to the real world. And I'd love to hear at the end of the session what you felt from this meditation. Did you feel any of the things that we discussed earlier? I'm sure it at least helped you become more relaxed. So that was the whole piece on meditativeness or meditation. The second part of this is being inspired or having enough inspiration within us. Now, where does this level of inspiration or motivation come from? Right now, this motivation is really this intense desire that we feel to achieve a certain goal, right? That you're so driven that that's the only thing you think about. How can we feel that within? If you are in that state, then these other things that cause us stress, which is like failure or getting adverse circumstances and so on, they can't really bother us that much if we have that level of motivation. So let's just understand this aspect a little bit more, and I'd like to explain this with two examples, right? I'm sure some of us would have seen these two movies, and if you think about it, if you think about this movie called Secret Superstar, this girl wanted to become a singer, but she did not really get the right circumstances to become a singer, in the sense that her father was extremely conservative and he did not think it was appropriate for her to go out and pursue a singing career. But that did not really stop her, so she found a way around it. And because she's passionate, she just practiced and focused on becoming a great singer. She opened a secret identity as a YouTube on YouTube, and she started putting up her songs with that secret identity out there. And her songs were just loved by everybody across, because that's what her passion was, that inspired her every day. It wasn't anything else. And the other example is that Milkha Singh, and this is not just a movie but a real life character of an athlete, that he too did not get the right circumstances, in the sense that he came from quite a poor family, and the movie demonstrated that he did not even have enough money to buy the right kind of trainers to run on the track. But that did not stop him. He just pursued his motivation, pursued his passion of going out there and practicing for hours and hours and hours, and he just focused on becoming the best. So that's really what inspiration is all about. And there are two kinds of motivation that happens. One is something that we do that, in your case, you're going to do a great, as students, you want to get great marks, and you want the teachers to applaud for you and get you
वैसे
all the
मेरी वर्कशॉप
medals
चल
and
रही है, बट तू अपना
get all the accolades and awards and so on and so forth. The other reason you can do it for, just because you love studying that subject. So I want to suggest to you that if you do it because you just love studying that subject, everything else will just follow, whether it's awards or great grades and marks and so on. That will just come. So do it for the love of learning, the love of the subject, and that's all. You'll realize that matters in the long run. He's just saying that go out and play the best hockey, because when you know that when you go out and perform at your best, then those rewards will follow. So I just love this example for that particular reason. And there's a famous quote which says, passion never fails. So if you can find that passion, then you will notice that whether it's it's a small failure or something that comes up, or any other adverse circumstance that comes up, you will just not get stressed by it, but you will find it within yourself to rise from that impediment and then follow your passion once again. Another quote is that the most successful people, they follow their passion, not paychecks, because we know that paychecks just come when you do the things that you're passionate about. So that's what I had in inspiredness or inspiration. And the third part of this is being thankful for everything that life has given us. Now, we already have heard it as part one of the story, but let me just tell you what gratitude really is. It's just a very small thing that we are always ready to show appreciation and to return kindness to life, to our parents, to anybody who's done any act of kindness to us. We want to just say thank you, appreciate, and return the kindness in some way. And let me tell you another story in this regard. Right. So very recently, there is this man in Italy. He was diagnosed with COVID. He was 73 years old, and he was in quite a critical condition when he was diagnosed. So he was put on a ventilator. When he reached the hospital, he started becoming better, and it was finally the day where he was allowed to leave the hospital after in being in perfect health. And what happened then was that he was given a bill by the doctors and the nurses. When he read the bill, he started crying. In that bill, he was charged $5,000 for using the ventilator for one night, and the doctors thought that he can't pay, so he started the doctors started consoling him. They said, "Oh, grandpa, don't worry, we'll take care of it if it's a big problem," and this, that, the other. But after the old man, he said something, and that actually made all the nurses and the doctors cry. He said, "No, it's not like I can't pay $5,000. Actually, I'm a millionaire and I can pay anything." But the thing is that for one night of hospital's air, I have been asked to pay $5,000. But for 73 years, I have been breathing God's air, and I have never said thank you to him once. And that really made everybody else think that, we have so much in life that we need to be grateful for, whether it's the clean air, the great nutritious food that we get, and so on and so forth. But we don't notice these small things that, we should be thankful for. And there are some very concrete experiments and scientific research that has been done on gratitude. And we noticed in science that when people express more gratitude, they are generally happier as people, they are more content, and you naturally don't feel any stress because you learn to appreciate certain things of life, and you sleep better. So a whole host of things which I don't need to tell you more about, but in a nutshell, my message is practice gratitude. We can practice it by anything, somebody does a good thing for us, we can say thank you, we can compliment them. But then we also find it extremely hard to be grateful when somebody criticizes us. So we should look at it as an opportunity to better ourselves, or, looking at the same thing with new eyes. Maybe we are seeing something, we are not seeing something which other person is. So be grateful for even the person who criticizes you and gives you feedback, because you can think about it and, take it as something that you can improve yourself on. And here is a game that I play every single evening with my family across the dinner table, and it just takes about 5 minutes to play it. And I would recommend, and because in the interest of time, we have very short time here, so I'll just explain to you. And if you go and play this with your family around the dinner table or driving to wherever it is that you're driving to, you'll notice that you'll become much happier as people. And this game is called the Rose, Thorn, and Bud. Rose is that everybody gets to describe a good experience that happened to you today. It doesn't have to be a big experience. It's not about winning the lottery every single day, but like a very small thing. And I'll give you my own example. Yesterday, I cooked a biryani and it turned out amazingly beautiful. And that was my good experience in the day. And that's what I had shared last night. The thorn is that any mistake that you learn from, and there are tiny mistakes that we commit so many times. Like if I speak harshly to somebody, that hurts somebody. That's my learning experience. So something like really small as that. A bud, an act of kindness that you may have done. And again, it doesn't have to be a very big thing. So my example would be, uh, I was standing in a queue at the ATM and there was somebody in a big hurry behind me. I was in no hurry. I mean, I was just going home from after a walk. So I just allowed that person to get ahead from me in the queue at the ATM. So that was my act of kindness. So again, these things don't have to be very massive, just small things, and that's what really makes our life joyous. And the last thing in this is empathy. And I understand that we have very little time left on this webinar, so let me just take you through it quickly. It's really our ability to, understand what the other person might be going through, and framing our actions according to that. And sometimes human beings just want to be understood. So just them people knowing that you share that feeling or you share that emotion. And I'd like you to look at this particular picture. And clearly this person on the left hand side is seeing 4 logs, while the other person is seeing 3. Now they can keep on arguing about it and having a fight about it, but that's what they see. Unless they walk across to each other's side, they will never be able to get that perspective, what the other person is feeling. So empathy really is about walking to the other person's side and seeing the world through his eyes, so you can understand what he or she is going through. So, or the other way of looking at it is looking at the world through each other's eyes. Here's an activity which you can attempt in about 30 seconds here right now. Now imagine this scenario that it's a secluded, street. It's twilight, the sun is going down, it's kind of becoming dark, and you're walking alone either towards your car park or just walking back home, and you hear these footsteps behind you and you're all alone on the street. What would you think or feel, or what would you do? Just think about it in 30 seconds and we can talk about it. So the thing is that if you are a girl, then your worldview will be very different. You probably will be very afraid and you'll probably start running away from there. But let's say you were like a Muhammad Ali, a 6'2" tall guy, then probably you'll just turn around and say, okay, who the hell is following me? And who can I beat up today? So the perspective, your worldview or your perspective on every situation can be very different. That's the aim of this exercise, that we really have to put ourselves in the other person's shoes to understand what it is. Just let's take 30 seconds to look at this clip. Notice that how looking at somebody's perspective can just help you bond at a very different level. And the opposite of empathy is actually when you get into conflicting situations, when you become arrogant and you don't want to understand the other person's perspective. So here are 3 quick things that we can do to build empathy. One is that when you are listening to somebody, is a reply already going on in your head? Like, what am I going to say to this person? Or are you really trying to understand that other person? Don't just hear the words, but really observe what the person is trying to say. What's the body language, because body language, facial expressions can just tell you a whole another story. and use curiosity, wonder why is this person saying whatever he or she is saying. So yeah, Mohini, do you want to sort of give a message? I mean, that was my presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Pratyush, I don't think she's audible.
Just one second. Just one second. Mohini, you can hear? You are.
Sir, I am there, but then like it was recording, so just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, sir. I'll do it. Sir, will you log in the session?